For years, there was really one route to become a pastor, and that was to go to the seminary, Concordia Seminary in St. Louis or Fort Wayne, residential seminary education. That's still available for those who would like to be pastors or who are aspiring to that. However, now there are multiple ways to go through that. I think one of the broadest nets for training in the Texas District is the evangelist training program. What we're finding though is some of the men who go through that program want to go on and get additional training. For them, they can either go to the seminary for a traditional seminary education that's a residential program. They can also go through the SMP or the specific ministry pastor training. That allows them to stay in place, to receive their training, and then to stay equipped and sent where they are currently. We also have, for those who are of other ethnic backgrounds, we have the Center for Hispanic Studies, that's taught in Spanish, or the Ethnic Immigrant Institute of Theology. Someone who wants to become a pastor can go 4 years to the seminary. But there's an option called SMP or a specific ministry pastor in which we're seeing men who are maybe in their middle-aged years, their kids are maybe out of the house, they'd like to stay in place. They can be trained by video, by staying in place and taking classes online. At the end of 2 years, you're ordained. And then following that, you can start to do Word and Sacrament ministry, but you have 2 more additional years to finish the program. So 4 years total. It really has been a great tool in the toolbox for the Texas District. The Texas District began the evangelist training program really meant for people that want to be further equipped to take the gospel into the ordinary places that are part of their lives. Maybe it's into an apartment complex, or maybe it's onto a university campus, perhaps into a retirement home. But it's ways to actually bring the gospel, to go through some Lutheran training and have an equipping so that they can confidently share the gospel in those spaces. We're really excited that Jeff and his family have gone through that program. And what we're finding is with the evangelist training program, once men go through that, many times they want more training, and that's Jeff's story. Jeff Mensing is unique in one sense, but he's actually really ordinary in another sense. What we're seeing is people with jobs, people that have families, they have kids, and they are anchored in a specific community, are actually looking for what's the next thing? How can I be trained to be more effective in sharing the gospel?
Evangelism training was just something that was offered and available that we wanted to do anyway. And so it was just a natural thing to do. Like, we were really hungry for more teaching. We have some of the practical aspects down about being missional and stuff, but I wanted more theology. And so it gave us some of that, but it gave us other good ideas too, how we could do life with people and that mindset. We got to hear from other pastors in video. Laura, she's a great coach, and so from her, just a lot of wisdom and information passed down to us. And then we all got to share stories too. That's the cool thing. There's other people in the same mindset, being evangelists, not just sitting in a pew, but being active and taking the church out to where people are. And so hearing stories was encouraging one another in prayer and stuff like that. People are around you where you live, work, and play, and learn is what we've added. So they need Jesus. There's people out there that need to hear God's good word. So this is our Front Yard Friday. It's Friday. The goal is to meet neighbors, invite people over, be hospitable, and just get to know them, have a relationship. Develop that if it's new, and so it's a good opportunity. People we meet throughout the week, we can say, hey, we're going to be outside. Here's our addresses. Come on out after 6 or 6:30, and a lot of them show up. Kids are at school over here at Sunfield. They'll invite their friends over. Their parents will come, and then there's been friendships at our farm that are pretty solid just through that. The goal was just to really get to know folks and then bless them. Let Jesus do his thing in the midst of all the chaos that you see going on back here. And he does. It happens. We've had several baptisms from families that have come through Front Yard Friday. We have some more coming up, and so it's cool. We just kind of just be at the church where we're at, and it's an awesome thing.
What we saw with Jeff is, here's somebody who actually was on fire about figuring out ways to share his relationships, his home, his neighborhood, and really leveraging them for the gospel of Jesus. And we've seen that with Jeff and Kim and their family, their friends who have hosted this Front Yard Friday. One of the really exciting things we're seeing in the Texas District is a variety of leaders from other ethnic backgrounds who are desiring to become pastors or to become trained for ministry. And as we look at a larger number of Hispanic students, we're finding that a great opportunity for them is to go through the Center for Hispanic Studies that's part of St. Louis Seminary. And we've got some people right now in the Texas District who are going through that program and are being equipped for ministry because of that program. Is a program called the EIIT, or Ethnic Immigrant Institute of Theology, which would be anybody other than Hispanic. And they provide in English the theological education that is necessary to become an ordained pastor in the LCMS.
But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few will find it.
When I was a kid, I remember missionaries coming to our church and speaking, and it was always those people that lived over there. What I see today is more and more of those communities from around the world are actually moving here. We're finding them in Texas, whether that's in Houston or the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or Austin, or in the Rio Grande Valley, way out in West Texas. And so what we're seeing is the opportunity to train pastors so that someone receives the gospel according to a way that makes sense to them in either their language or according to their culture. As someone who works with church planters and new church starts, it's becoming more and more important for us to have these different pathways to seminary education. And so the more programs that we have allowing for different stages of life, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, these are becoming more important for us as a Texas District in future training.